a value in networking.
I like in-person dealing more now with the shows.
There was a lot of foul activity going on, and no one's talking about it.
I feel like I see less patience in the hobby today. And I want to get your thoughts on it. When you hear of the large dollar amounts now around PMGs, what do you think?
What it takes for someone to spend that much money on any card.
Fanatics did something tonight I had never heard about. They have a lottery.
We got you on the line.
Oh my goodness, we're both on the line.
I don't think that the fact that they did V-Friends and Jackass is going to have any impact on how they treat sports cards.
You got to let the people know who you're rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD. You know, there's a value in that.
What's up, y'all? How we doing? Monday is here. And I'm excited because we had a guest on tonight that couldn't make it. And then I hit up someone that I think a lot of always good conversations with them, good insight. So I want to welcome Sin City Cars here to What's the Play on Rolling with FD. What's up, Sin City?
What's going on, FD? I appreciate you for having me, man.
Thank you. So thank you for being here. Now, people know you from you. You're always here. You're putting comments in. And I know a lot of people know you outside because I talked to several guests. When I mentioned Sin City, they're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, they've talked to you about something. Y'all shared a note about something. So it's great to have you here, sir.
I appreciate it. Like I said, it's a pleasure to be here and looking forward to diving in, man.
Oh, yeah. Let's jump into some comments here. You know, we got Wake and Breakers in the house. He was at the Phoenix Suns game. Well, did Phoenix play yesterday? He was at the Dallas Mavericks game yesterday. And it's always good to have him here. And then he uses both phones. You know, he has OG cards. What's up? Reverend Ribs, got to hang out with FD when I can. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. He says, if you check my Instagram live, I was showing you on camera. We had a great experience. Okay, I had to check that out. I missed that. Got to check that out. Wake, I will be there Saturday. Everybody's getting ready for the Dallas show. I know it's going to be a great show. I can't wait to hear about it and live vicariously through those that are going. Walk down to Mr. Mark Cuban before the game started. Okay. What was it like talking to Mark Cuban? What was that like? Let us know that. Reverend Rips, what's up, bro? What's up, Reverend? See you in Dallas at the card show. I'm in Texas now, fired up for the weekend. Justin, what's up, Rolling with FD? Love the channel, bro. Will you be in Dallas this weekend? I will not be in Dallas this weekend, but we have aspirations to get to Dallas at some point.
You and I both.
Yeah, maybe next 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Thanks for the angle. What's up, Ziggy? What's going on? And we got Spidey Hits. What's going on, hi friends? Love the name, sir.
Great name.
I was reading this the other day. I was going to hit you with a note. Love the name. Love the logo. Hero. Yeah, on the 5K. You know, we're going to take our time, get there. Love the support from people. Keep putting out content. What's up, Demetrius? So Sin City, just so you know, whenever you see Demetrius' shoes, we grew up together, went to high school together. He's known me since I was a young dude. A Reverend, I will be looking for hockey stuff and getting a feel about the CSG field. I think the energy around the slab is increasing. I would agree with you. The people that I've talked to, kind of the feedback that I've seen since the color change, logo change on the slab, as well as the numerical grading change, it's been great. What's up, Purple Haze? What's going on? Oh, yeah, Spidey. Got to keep it real, man. Well, let me find that. Back at you, sir. Back at you. Yeah. So let's get into, we're going to talk to Sin City, and those who don't know will learn more about them. So Sin City, break it down to me how you got into collecting anything, sports cars, whatever. Kind of walk us through your journey starting out, what influenced you, things like that.
Yeah, so this was before cards that I jumped in. Probably, say when I was about 6 years old, back in 1986, which doesn't seem like a long time ago, but it's, about 40 years ago almost. But dove in and started collecting GI Joe characters, Star Wars characters, the Kenner sets, right? The originals, and I wish I would have kept them in, sealed still, but you never know back then. But I was just playing with those toys, and that slowly, gradually got me back into to sports cards because my dad's a huge sports fan, and grew up watching sports with my dad. Sunday football, baseball mainly. Played baseball throughout my early life. Even played in college a little bit, and so I dove into collecting sports cards. Basically Topps, Donruss, the junk wax era. And then I tripped upon the 1992 Marvel Masterpiece set. Joe Jusko did that art, and when I saw those cards, I was hooked. It was over. And I every day after school, I'd take the money that I had, my allowance, and go buy a few packs and try and build that set up. And never got a chance to complete it, but it was still fun nonetheless.
Very good. Very good. We all start in similar ways. We choose what we're going to collect. Like I started at probably 7, 8 years old, about 7, with stamps and coins. Then I started realizing, like, man, some of this stuff is expensive, right? Let me find a way to take my $5 and make it 10. And then my mind just kept running from there. Wake and Break said he got down to Mark Cuban a little bit here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they started checking your past. It's like, who is this guy?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, it's great. You have Sin City Live. This would be a good one as always. Yeah. Sin City is good people. The Reverend Rips, FD, I agree with you. CP3 is a fraud when it comes to other. We can get into CP3 maybe a little bit later. Now, I've always had some thoughts about him for years. I just think, man, I'll just say this, right? When you're an athlete, to me, you do anything in life, the karma of things kind of come back at you. CP3 has always been a certain kind of player on the court, man. I'll never forget. I'm here in LA. You remember when the Houston Rockets played the Clippers?
Oh yeah.
They got into it on the court, and then they started going to each other's locker room, and CP3 was all into that because he had left the Clippers. Now he was with Houston. Just not my kind of player, man.
Yeah, he's been around the block, that's for sure.
So when I think we've talked before, and I know you use different platforms when you're either researching cars or buying cars. Kind of talk through that. And what's your experiences with the ones that you have used?
Yeah, so to start, I got back into the hobby about 2 years ago. And when I got back in, my mentality was, what can I collect that's already graded, right? And I started to realize really quick how expensive that side of the equation is. So, when you're going after players that are very popular, PSA 10s, for example, it starts to dwindle away that budget that you started with. And if you're not knowledgeable in the research of that card and the market tanks, then you're in trouble as far as your investment's concerned, right? So I learned real quick in the beginning when I jumped back in that what's worked out for me recently, and I believe it's going to be working out for many years to come, is having a keen eye for raw cards. I started to get really good at number one, doing research on those raw cards. And just to give you an example, when I look for raw cards on eBay, because I have a couple of platforms that I do use, but when I do research on eBay, I'm looking at who's selling that raw card, right? If that person has sold thousands of items on eBay and most of their items are graded on their store or their listings, why is that card not graded that they're selling raw, right? That puts it into perspective as far as, does that card have flaws? Does that card have dings? Are the edges bad? So I start to look at those factors as well when I'm making my decisions on these platforms to purchase these raw cards, because I'm purchasing these raw cards to get them graded. That's where you're going to get the most return on your investment. And you're not going to have to worry too much about upfront cost as far as that's concerned, because it's minimal at that point.
So when you're on, let's say you're on eBay, you see a card that spots your eye. Are you asking the seller for additional pictures?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that a seller who's selling a raw card should have around at least 6 images of that card. And if they don't, there's questions there. There's red flags that pop up in my mind, right? When I'm looking at a raw card. So I kindly just reach out to them. I message them and say, can you provide some more pictures? And most of the time they do. They're real nice about it. And that'll help me in my decisions.
Yeah, I've had a few situations where a person doesn't respond, or they respond with they're not showing more pictures. Or what I love, right, is the modern trick of eBay is when you show a card, right? Let's say the card is off center, right? Show that card on an angle.
Yep.
So that the alternate angle. Come on, man.
Yeah. The alternate angle is showing you obviously what you want to see, right?
Yeah, I'm like, can I get a flat picture of that card? Oh, I don't know about that. Do you collect seal wax?
I started to recently do a lot of research on sealed wax, mainly in the markets that I'm in right now. I'm mainly in Marvel and Star Wars, and I'm trying to look at research using different platforms, Sports Card Investor app, to kind of see the history, because they've put a bunch of sealed wax in their databases, just to see trends, to see the ebbs and flows of the market, and to see how those boxes have been doing. But slowly but surely, I'm probably going to be jumping into some wax and just holding on to it for long term.
I think that's a good strategy. I always think that if you pick the right cards to do that with, then you're going to be winning. And if you have you're patient and you can not open that stuff, you're going to be winning. Even on the sports side, right? It's one thing to collect let's say let's look at this, like 2003, LeBron, Wade, Carmelo Anthony came out, right? You probably want that box sealed before the 2002 version.
Absolutely.
So if you pick the right thing, like in Marvel cards, you're picking the right cards that are probably well sought after. Those are the boxes that you will want to keep. I see different videos of different people opening stuff that they've had for a while, but if you can hold on to it, like I was in Burbank on Saturday. Was it Burbank? I think it was Burbank. No, it was another store. I was in another store on Saturday, and they had a unopened pack of. I was in the bullpen here in Burbank, and they had an open pack of 1986 Fleer for $15,000.
Wow!
Now, if you crack that slab, and it was graded, and you open that pack, you may not pull $15,000 out of that pack.
No,
or you can pull more.
Yeah, I mean, I got into opening a lot of sports wax when I got back in as well. Aside from looking for graded cards, I also got into opening wax just for the fun of it.
Yep.
Learned real quick how that investment turns out if you start breaking stuff and not getting back your money real quick. So I tell people out there that breaking wax is it should be just for fun.
I agree with that.
If you're looking to chase for the excitement of getting a big card, just know that your odds are not in your favor.
So let's jump into something that's been of news today, right? So I think everybody out there knows that Josh Luber opened some cards with backyard breaks out of Florida. I just want to get the what the group thinks here. Who we got some people here in the chat room. What are your thoughts on that? I've heard some people say that, and I think Card Porn just put something on Instagram, kind of breaking down a text message or something that Luber sent out. Let me state what I think about this. Right, I thought that when Luber when Fanatics became involved more into cards and Luber became more vocal about his ideas about the future of the card market and what he wanted to do. Luber involved in a break was coming. That's just entered my mind. It's just something that did not shock me. Backyard breaks, I didn't think about who the breakers would be. But it doesn't shock me. We were at the Mint, backyard walked right past us and was right by us. And a lot of cameras, a lot of fanfare, a lot of people looking, a lot of people walking around. So that group, if he decided to do a break with a group that's how almost like if you're in a collecting world, you know who Backyard Breaks are. Whatever you may feel about them, right? You
Right.
know who they are. And then when I say feel about them, because the Trevor Lawrence card that came up and they wanted to keep the card where they had just said they were going to give the card away. So I'm not surprised that he chose them to do a break with them. I think the community is probably asking the question, why? Why would he choose these guys who have already been controversial? Some people believe that they've thrown their integrity away with the whole Trevor Lawrence thing. Why would he choose them? I can't answer that question, but I just, as we go through this, if there's anybody out there in Sin City, you can share your ideas as well. Does anybody have any ideas about that, or what they think about that, or how they feel about that? Feel free to share.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand that there's two sides of the coin in situations like this. I mean, the Trevor Lawrence thing put them on the map as far as possibly doing shady things, right? Unfortunately, and maybe to kind of get some credibility back in their eyes, they reached out to Luber and to see if Luber could get them out of that controversial hole that they dug themselves into with that Trevor Lawrence thing, right? So that's a possibility. I was reading on it a little bit before we jumped on and saw that, possibly some money was thrown towards Josh Luber to jump on with them, right? So who knows? I mean, I'm not coming out and saying nothing without, these are all rumors until proven methods. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where Backyard Breaks goes, and we know what Josh Luber's doing. I mean, that guy's a genius. There's a reason why he was able to purchase Topps, right? A deal broker a deal so big in the industry, and all the things that they have in the pipeline with V Friends and the Jackass cards, like him or not, as far as those cards are concerned, he's visionary, and it takes a visionary to actually push something forward into the future to grow it. So we'll see where that goes.
Purple Haze says here, bad optics, my man. Tone deaf for a so-called chief visionary of the hobby. Makes me lose some confidence for sure. Wake and Break says, I'm feeling kind of salty about the fact shady business practices doesn't set well my personal values. But hey, who am I to judge? I'm just stay in my lane and keep on keeping on blessings. I think that in the hobby, right? Let's just think about it. Let's take a step back. Why people feel, this is something that just came to my mind. Why do people feel the way they feel about certain things when it happens? I've been collecting for a long time. When we were young, or even young adults, did you hear a lot from Topps executives at all about anything? Did you see them?
Never.
I tell people right now, Beckett card grading, you don't see them.
Nope.
Right? You don't hear anything from them.
But yet they're still there.
But they're still there. And I entrust, I just sent a card to Beckett. I have many graded cards. I have a LeBron James 2003 Topps Chrome graded by them. They affect our hobby, right? But you don't hear from them. So Luber, Ruben, you hear from them. You see them. So I think people have been through collecting for years, but have never seen anybody, never heard from anybody. So when you start seeing people, then you become you have a nature of people to become very like, what are they doing?
Right.
Why are they saying that? Why would they do this? Why would he go do a break with Backyard Breaks? And I'm not giving anybody an out. I don't want anybody to think that. I'm just thinking about this critically, right? Stepping back and thinking about, you're seeing people for the first time in the industry, where in other forms of business, it's commonplace to see someone, hear from someone, read a tweet from someone, see an IG post from someone. We're just now realizing this in the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it at the Mint, right? The Mint Collective here in Vegas was a good showing as far as what the future of card shows might get to someday. It was very much a meet and greet, socialization of all the industry influencers out there. You had all the big wigs here at that show, and a little bit different take on what a card show normally is, right?
Yep.
They had some pluses. They did some things well, but a lot of people were not ready for something like that, and I think that it'll evolve into something possibly down the road, how shows might look and feel.
But see, Baker Boy, which I always love Baker Boy's comments. He has great comments. He says no internet back then, FD, no social. But I will still argue, you don't really hear from Beckett Grading right now in their social media right now, right? You start hearing from certain people at Tops even before they were acquired, but that was a long time. Like I didn't really hear anything from Tops, and that was social media. I didn't get a lot from. So I just think that this is just my opinion. I think there are a lot of good point, Becker. Yeah, Becker makes good points. I think there are going to be more things in the future that we're going to look at and say, I agree with that. I can see why that is happening. There might be things in the future that we look at and be like, what is that all about?
Right.
Doing a break with back when I first heard about that. So I was like, okay, this is going to stir the pot. It's going to be a little bit different here.
Absolutely.
But it's something that Luber wanted to do. So we'll see how this plays out. But I mean, I don't know. You know, definitely. One thing I will say, whenever you have something going on, right? We're talking about it. I talked about it on the live last night. There are other people around social media talking about it. We see posts, right? So sometimes, even if it's controversial, if you're consistently in front of people and people are talking about you, it could be negative or positive. Just think about what goes on in the land of reality TV and other things. There are people consistently being talked about, no matter what. They're in your mind. They're in my mind. We think about them. There are people viewing things on TV to watch their shows. Keeps people relevant. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is that. Could be.
Well, social media has taken the industry, I believe, in a whole different direction than a few years back. I mean, if you think about it, breakers really didn't come on the scene. I mean, they've always been there for the past, I think, 10 years or so, like maybe even longer than that, but really came on the scene strong in the past few years. And with social media, people jumping on Instagram and posting all this stuff, it's so much easier than it was in the hobby back then. So social media has helped, I believe, in some things, and other things, obviously, not. So
let me ask you, Sin City, do you buy into breaks? Do you?
No. I've probably bought into about 2 breaks in my entire collecting career, just to see how it was, to test it out.
So you've bought into 2 to see how it was and test it out.
Yep.
I've bought into 1. I got a Sam Darnold card out of that before he entered the draft. It was with his college jersey on, all that, right? So I've got into 1. So you and I are not the demographic, right? We're not the people that are in breaks.
No, and it's a risk, right? I mean, it's a huge risk that you're taking. One of the breaks that I bought into, it was for $100, and it was to break about 12 different type of boxes, basketball and football combined. And I was fortunate that one of those boxes was a collegiate NT box of the Cade Cunningham and what was his name? Franz Wagner. They're those rookie cards in their college jerseys. And I ended up pulling both of their RPAs out of that break. Now that's lucky, right? But I didn't want to gamble again. I didn't want to take my chances to keep buying, but that's how it is. You hit big once, and then you go down the rabbit hole, and you start more breaks, and it can be pretty pricey. But yeah, I mean, it's not my demographic. It's not my cup of tea.
But I can see why people enjoy it. I mean, I can go to Vegas, right? And I'm probably the person I'm sitting back looking at someone playing blackjack, a roulette, or doing something else. I'm like really like watching that, just seeing how things go on. How many times do I jump in? That's just not me. I don't jump in a lot on that, but I definitely can sit back and understand why someone enjoys the rush of it, the feeling of it. I can understand that. I recently, I like to learn all aspects of things, right? So I've done the break thing once. Sat in on a drip live just to understand how that goes. What is that? I've done that. I don't know if it's necessarily for me. I don't know, but I like to at least see what's going on, what's happening in the hobby. How do people feel about that? I fell into the break addiction during the pandemic. It's an addiction for sure. Wake and break shares. Honestly, I'm still waiting on a box from a break almost a year. It's crazy shady. I just adopted Burbank as my LCS and make the trip every month. He also says, let's keep it real. Breakers were a way to keep costs down and break wax with friends and share experiences. So
I agree with that statement.
I think Ranger Second 75th has a joke here. Maybe Luber was conducting a personal interview for future allocations. Go and no go. This is interesting now. It's interesting how these things come out, hit the news, and I like to listen to everybody's take on it. Just one of those things for me. Big John Collector's Card says one thing breaks give you is access to wax around the country, especially if you are without an LCS. True.
Good point.
Has anybody here in the chat room been on a drip live? What do they think about that? What was that experience like for you? I'd just be, as we go on, I'd be interested to see what you think of that. You only get one first impression. Backyard breaks are just a bad idea. Let me just say this, right? Let me kind of play devil's advocate. Backyard breaks still appears to be doing very well for themselves.
They have a huge following.
After all this controversy,
huge.
I hear people say that their integrity is of question. They're still backyard breaks are still breaking big cards, and a lot of people are involved.
Yep.
I see Anthony here says that he's never heard of a drip live. Okay.
Don't worry, Anthony. That's new to me too.
Yep. It was new to me up until the mint. Okay. Up until the mint is when I started understanding what was over drip. Drip was similar to whatnot. Yeah. Drip is doing lives all the time. So I'm on there. Let me see if I get on tonight. What I see. I was on their app a couple of weeks ago, and they have breaks happening all the time. Just all the time.
Very similar to whatnot.
Like right now, I just entered a room. I don't even know who this person is, right? There are 2,810 drip breaks happening right now as we speak.
Wow. I think that's more than what whatnot does.
There are 24 people in the room that I'm in right now.
Okay.
So just extrapolate that out. If some of these rooms are probably a little bit smaller, some of these rooms are a little bit bigger.
Right.
But people are breaking, folks. Let me show you this. People are breaking right now. So it's, you know.
I don't think that's ever going to go away. Like the comments that you read earlier, it's a way for people to buy into a box that's too expensive. You know, not everybody has $2,000 out there to buy a box with them. They get priced out, right? So the only way that they can enjoy that is by buying into a break.
And then, like Big John says, you got Loop out there. Loop is there that you can check out as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Backyard did pull the LeBron triple logo, man. People are speculating on that. I've heard a lot of people say that they knew what they were about to break. So you can take that as a grain of salt. I have no evidence, no concrete evidence of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get, you know, even Coin Crazy says, what are either of those? It's people who haven't been on this stuff. But when I go to shows, I can only speak to when I go to a show. There's a younger group that is thoroughly involved in what we're talking about right now. Backyard breaks, drip, loop, whatnot, thoroughly involved. There are content creators who are thoroughly involved in whatnot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw a lot more of that happening in the last 3 or 4 months, where a lot of these influencers out there. I mean, you got Mojo Sports, you got Sasha T. A lot of these big influencers on IG and other platforms, YouTube, are doing the whatnot breaks, right? Or they're selling their cards on whatnot.
Sure.
A lot of people are doing that. I mean, and it's just the day and age we live in, right? Technology has gotten so advanced with what we do as far as the hobby, and people are taking advantage of that platform when it comes out and capitalizing on that.
So when I went to the National last year, they dedicated a whole area of the National to just breaking. So there were different breakers at different tables representing their companies breaking cars. There was a LeBron X Fractor pulled out of 2003 Topps Chrome. There were big cars being pulled out. There was some boxes being opened. There was nothing coming out. But all this stuff was happening live while we were walking by at the tables at the National. I think that was the first year that they dedicated so much space to breaking.
Yeah, I heard something about how they all get together, I think, once a year and do a massive break. All the breakers get together. It's like a breaker convention or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but I did overhear that they do something like that once a year. They break a bunch of product together.
Mikey says, if either one of you were involved in that Trevor Lawrence rookie, how would you feel? They took it from you. I wouldn't feel good. I wouldn't feel good about it.
Who would?
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone would. Not at all. I'll meet with my buddy Chaos in Dallas. He is drip, 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 and whatnot. Let me get his insight and perspective. Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to someone that really does a lot of breaking and get some insight from them. I'm sure breakers weigh their wax as easy, then sell the search wax to market. If that is the case, Baker Boy, that could be the case. I've watched just some breaks myself. Like there was a break, I forgot how long ago it was and who was doing it, where they opened up, I think, 5 or 6 boxes of National Treasures before they hit a LaMelo Ball RPA. And the LaMelo Ball RPA, I think, broke even with everything they had just opened.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate because, what Baker Boy is saying, there could be some truth to that, right?
Oh, yeah. I think
you could have these people out there weighing boxes. They buy a case, right? They're looking for that case hit, and they're trying to weigh the boxes to see which one's heavier and keep that one for themselves and then just sell the other ones on a break.
But let's get even deeper than that, right? If you have a company and you're producing product, if there is a recall on food, they know a lot to call back, right? So you probably might know which card was inserted in what cases and where those cases are hit. You may even know that. I don't know. I don't know the technology behind how cards are produced and distributed. I do not know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know how these big companies, Topps and Panini out there, really hone in on where that product is heading, what distributor is going to see where it's being pulled. I was watching a little bit of a live stream from Spidey the other day, and he made a good point that Upper Deck, for example, they just have one main distributor that they sell an entire product to because they just want to get rid of it. They don't want to have it sitting around. They want to get their money's worth out of it and focus on the next product, right? Mm-hmm. So they just sell it to one distributor, and that distributor sells it down to 5 other distributors that then go to LCSs and drop it off there. So
that's good insight.
Yeah.
Spidey has a great relationship with them, so great insight. Big John says the more fans you have as content creator, the more people are willing to overpay for cards on whatnot just to say they did a deal. That's interesting. It's interesting. That's not my mindset at all. I mean, I don't. I know I'm trying to wrap my head around that right now. I don't know. I would never. If you and I were talking, right, and it came down to a car deal. Now we know each other. We talk, we have a relationship, right? Where I'm from and how I think, like, I'm not asking you to cut me a certain price because we know each other. No. I wouldn't ask that question. I wouldn't even allude to that. Now we're talking about a form of business that we're conducting with each other. But maybe other people, I don't know. I couldn't.
That's not how I do business. No.
No.
Not with people that I know.
All right, from the bench says I've watched those big name guys get smoked on deals constantly on Whatnot. I need to get on Whatnot, man. I've never been on.
Yeah, well, I think what he's referring to is a lot of these big time people that are on Whatnot. You have to pick and choose the product that you sell on Whatnot. Unless you have a large following on Whatnot for you to be able to promote like a high end sale of a live stream going on, you can lose a lot. And I've seen a lot of these people that come into Whatnot that try and stream thinking that everybody that comes into their live stream has the bucks to spend, and they end up selling cards for way less than what the actual cost.
So break it down to me, Sin City, Alex. How does it work? You get on, I put product X up. I put this mouse up for sale. How does this work when I put this mouse up? Am I on a certain time frame, and the auction itself dictates the price of this mouse?
Yeah. So to start from the very beginning, in order for you to be able to be a seller on Whatnot, you have to put an application in with Whatnot. They're so backed up with applications right now that I've heard people waiting an entire year to get their application approved to be able to sell on the platform, right? Once you get approved, you go on, you set up live on a specific day and time that you're going to sell your items. And a lot of people that are successful at it enter their inventory before their show goes live. The ones that don't enter their inventory and just kind of put a vague name on every single auction that they're doing could get confusing at times when they're trying to go to ship items and things like that, right? So they just enter their inventory in a day before or however they do it, and then when they go live, they find their item to list, put it up there, put a timer on it, put a starting price on it, and however long the timer goes for, whatever it ends on, that's what it sells for.
So what would be the benefit of doing this over eBay, because it's an immediate sale?
It's an immediate transaction. Yeah. You don't have to wait 5 days, 7 days for an auction on eBay to end. And you don't have to wait weeks or months for a card that's on a buy it now option to sell at the price that you wanted to sell it, right?
Do you see higher dollar amount cards on Whatnot?
There's a couple of streamers out there that have high end nights, and they sell cards for pretty expensive, a couple $1,000s. I've seen as of late comic book streamers on Whatnot having success with higher end comic selling. There was a first appearance of a Galactus Fantastic Four that sold for over $6,000 the other night. That's pretty big.
Yeah, you just answered my question. Okay. Yeah, that is very big. $6,000 comic book on Whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Selling within minutes.
Mikey says Whatnot is tough. I just did my first live sale and lost 70% out of 150 slabs.
Yeah, it's tough.
Purple Haze asks a question. FD, have you seen that new grading company Rare Slab in person? Any thoughts on how nice they are? Yes, when we went to Delmar, and it's a part of the Delmar episode, if you search the Rolling with FD channel and go through Delmar, we talked to a representative from Rare. Their slabs are waterproof. They're UV protected. Their slabs are made out of the same composite material as an iPhone screen. They look great. They give you a grade and plus 4 subgrades. What else about them? They can tell you. So when your card arrives back to you, it's in a wrapper. So you will rip your card out just like you would open a pack of cards, which gives you that feeling. You can also scan that wrapper. If you're impatient, you say, I just don't know what the grade is before I open it. You can scan it and tell you the grade. They also give you notes. Like if you send in a comic to be graded, they'll tell you why your card got a 9 or a 9.5 or an 8 or whatever it is. They'll give you information on what caused the card grade to go down or to be the grade that it is. So I plan to say I had talked to Love What You Collect, and I told her we should both send cards in and just see how they come back. I want to go through the same process, right? Get that card clean, have it looked at, probably go to the slab doctor here, and then send the card in and see what the grade comes back as, and just go through the whole process to see what it's like. I think it'd be cool. They also have a flat fee for their cards. That also includes the autograph. If you want to get the autograph graded, I think it's $29 and up. There's a lot of benefits there, right?
Yeah.
But the question I had is, and I believe I asked the representative this, pretty sure, is what are these cards selling for on the open market?
And that's always going to be the question.
That's
right?
that's the test. I can have all the bells and whistles. You can open a box of the slab and light comes out, right? Like it's Indiana Jones. But what does that card sell for on the open market?
Yeah. And unfortunately, right now, and it's not going to change, I don't think, anytime soon, to be honest with you. PSA is king. Mm-hmm. PSA dominates the market right now. And I could be, button heads with a lot of people with what I'm saying right now, but the facts don't lie. Data doesn't lie. And the data shows that PSA is number one. BGS lost a little bit of traction there for a minute, and they were trying to compete with SGC. But
again, let's go back though. Don't you hear from Nat Turner?
Yeah,
right.
You hear from Nat Turner.
You hear from Nat.
He puts out updates.
That's right.
Yeah,
he's a person that you can kind of feel. I don't know how this plays a role, but I believe with human beings it plays a role. He's a person that you can see, hear. You may disagree with some of the stuff he's saying, but you at least have a person there. I still want to see somebody from Beckett, man.
Well, I mean, look at what Nat Turner did with that backlog. It's amazing the amount of cards that they are putting out every month.
Yep.
Thousands upon thousands of graded cards are being pumped out of their facilities. It's amazing for him to get that company back on track when he took it over. Mm-hmm. And now they got another place opening up in Jersey to take on the East Coast.
And there's going to be more.
Yeah.
Something coming to the South at some point.
Doesn't he have one and also thinking about opening up someplace in Mexico?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Or in the Asian market. So I think it's the Asian market.
It's coming.
Yeah. I mean,
now you can attach.
PSA has one,
and PSA doesn't pay me, right? But I'm just thinking logically about business. Now you have a person you can attach a name to. You hear their strategy. You and I are talking about where they're opening up different grading facilities, right? We don't know what other people are doing.
So I mean, like a company like Rare.
Everything we submit is on a somewhat that car is going to stay in that slab or another slab. It's people don't just take cars out of slabs and they go back raw.
Yeah, I mean, HGA tried to come on the market. HGA tried to come on the market, and they tried to do a lot of things differently with their computer AI, and Rare's doing some probably cool things as well. And there's always going to be companies out there that are trying to reinvent the wheel, but at the end of the day, man, I just don't foresee anybody surpassing PS at this point in time. Maybe
let's say PSA comes out with some AI.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me.
Changes the game. Pete says, how long before PSA institutes a vaulting selling system option? Probably not long. I don't, as we talk about new things happening, what stops new? What stops innovation? You're the leader in the market. What stops you from? I wouldn't doubt anything. Baker Boy, FD or Sin, can you explain why the Fleer is considered Jordan's rookie card? Oh yeah, I can explain that. But so when Jordan first came out, there was a company called Star, and I think everybody probably has seen Star cards. Yep. They're graded now by Beckett. The PSA won't grade a Star card, and that is because when I was coming up as a young person, Star was heavily counterfeited. I mean, heavily. If you saw a Star card and put it in your hand, it's probably fake.
Yeah.
Right. So that just took those cards just straight off the market. Nobody wanted to deal with them. This is before grading. Nobody wanted to deal with them. So the 86 Fleer became Jordan's rookie card because it was harder to counterfeit. We still saw counterfeiting with that card. But I think what saved both of these types of companies' cards of Jordan was grading.
Yeah.
Changed the whole game. Now I can get on eBay and I see a Star Jordan for like $60,000. It still blows my mind.
Yeah.
I can remember being in card shops and nobody wanted to touch those cards.
Well, and the '86 Fleer set was more than just Jordan's rookie cards. There was various players in there that were now those cards are considered their rookie cards because
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh yeah,
Patrick Ewing, Charles
Barkley.
Barkley. It was the first non-Topps Magic Johnson card, Larry Bird card. I mean, that's why that set is just so.
It's iconic.
And that Topps, just so everybody knows, right? Topps basketball, nobody was really buying that back in the day. It wasn't as popular as people look back and say it wasn't as popular. Even the cards of Magic and Bird solo in '81, those cards were not popular at one point. Grading changed all of that.
Yep. Well, what would you rather have in your hand? Would you rather have a raw card or a graded card?
That's right. I would rather, and then we talking about trimming. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff going on back in the day with vintage baseball and with these young superstars in basketball that grading just took that right out. You can eliminate that now. I could buy a card from Sin City with confidence that I know when I get it, what I have, that changed the whole game on these cards. If, to me, in my humble opinion, if it wasn't for grading, this question probably wouldn't even be here.
No.
Grading made that happen.
Yep.
That's the history, Baker boy, that I know. Purple Haze says, if PSA offered an ultra premium slab, would you pay extra for your high-end cars? $1 million cars and 40-cent slabs, silly. I would have to think, like, what is the advantage of an ultra premium slab? What would that slab offer me as a consumer?
Well, I mean, me as a collector, I keep my cards in a case, right? Mm-hmm. In the Zion case, and it's protected from light, protected from water. Mm-hmm. So that extra, high-end slab that's waterproof might not make sense to someone like me. And I think a lot of collectors out there take pride in what they own. They protect their cards as well when they're in those slabs. But a lot of people are gravitating now towards just it's not just the slab, but the outer portion of that slab and putting them in slab bags. I think slab bags look amazing. They make cards pop.
I agree. It's great. I even put some cards in a slab bag.
Yeah.
And those things look like showpieces, man.
Yeah. And I think they get a higher premium when you sell them like that too.
Definitely when you walk in a show and you're looking at tables, it just jumps out at you. Yeah. And I've even seen cards that are not that expensive in a slab mag and moving on tables.
Absolutely.
All right, from the bench says HGA would still been super relevant, but their backlog sank them, unfortunately. Weren't going to take over PSA with pricing, but could have sold 3 or 4. But I'll just say this. I mean, I don't know, right? I go to a lot of shows, talk to a lot of people. There were certain cards in HGA slabs, right? I never walked a show and saw a $5,000 and up card in an HGA slab.
No, you're going to see more base cards in those type of slabs. Their credibility right now is not where it needs to be, and unfortunately, they went too fast, too soon as far as what they were trying to market and what they were trying to promise.
Yeah, Baker boy, I'm here for you, man. At least to try to give you some insight on what I've seen. Star didn't come in packs either. And I will say this, right? I can remember being young. I would go places. Jerry Rice's rookie year, I saw football cards. I saw baseball cards. I would go in LCSs that didn't even sell basketball.
Yeah.
So this stuff it was hard to get. It wasn't, No,
when I was growing up, it was about 80% baseball in LCSs.
That's right, all the time. Sin, have you got some Spider-Man metal boxes ordered?
Good question. So I unfortunately have not, and that's just a play that I'm doing. Prices started off, I think, around $200, $230 a box when they first came out for pre-orders. That lasted about maybe an hour, and they spiked in price got all the way up to like $400 a box, and I put the brakes on just because I heard, and I can't confirm this, but I heard that a lot of the cards Upper Deck is holding for EPAC. And for those that don't know what EPAC is, it's a form to receive cards, actual physical cards, but yet you're purchasing them from Upper Deck on their platform online. And you'll purchase a pack from them online if you're lucky enough to get one. And whatever you're able to break that pack online, it'll be a digital version of what you receive in that pack. And you can request from Upper Deck that they mail it right to your house. So for me, I think I'm just going to hold back and wait for all the FOMO that is around those boxes right now, and just see where all those cards land. Kind of similar to what happens when a new product's open on the sports market. You kind of want to wait a little bit because everything's inflated. Everybody's racing to eBay to put them out there, and prices are way too high out the gate. But if you just wait about 3 to 6 months down the road, and then you go after those cards, you'll be very fortunate to pick up what you're looking for. And I'm more after specific characters. I know a lot of people in the Marvel market are set collectors, and I have a few sets that I have, but for the most part, I'm after main characters that are going to be popping up in the MCU movies. We already know what Kevin Feige's doing for the next 10 years with the movies that they're going to be putting out. So I'm focusing on picking those characters up now before the FOMO starts to hit when their show or movies start to come out.
All right. So let me just, I know we talked about Backyard, right? So Backyard has a post on Instagram that I just happened to just stumble upon.
Okay.
I'm just going to read a little bit of this just to put this out here to be, we keep it real on what's the play. Recently, this is what they're saying, and this is a swipe, right? There's a little bit of information here. Recently, there has been increased social chatter about our organization, including a claim that we mark cards during a break. That claim is completely baseless, and it appears to come from continued criticism around the Trevor Lawrence giveaway in January. First, the Trevor Lawrence Gold Kaboom incident. To set the record straight, we fully recognize that we had a mistake in that moment, and we didn't handle it the right way. But at no point did we intend to deceive or scam anyone. This was a unique situation that we managed in real time, and we tried our best to make it right. We listened to our community and decided to donate money to the Boys and Girls Club and gave the card away later that night. We also contacted the person who many thought won, in quotes, the Kaboom card, and he agreed that it was all very confusing, but that he was not the rightful winner. We assessed the situation. We've grown from it, and we've made our business better to ensure something like this never happens again. ... I'm gonna move forward a little bit. Regarding the claim that we're marking cards, it is libel and a direct attack on our business. These allegations are 100% false. We have never and will never mark a single card. At the end of the day, there's another paragraph here that I'm going to move past. At the end of the day, we strive to create the most entertaining and positive environment in every break we do. These allegations do not correspond with how we have and will continue to build and invest in our business. We encourage everyone to join our streams and form their own opinions. The Backyard community welcomes anyone and everyone with open arms. There's another page here that says, "We love you. Backyard Breaks."
They have a lot of following, man. And again, it's good that they try to get ahead of it and put out statements to kind of, fix the confusion that occurred during that Trevor Lawrence thing. Again, there's always two sides of the coin. We don't know exactly what took place, and it's good to see that they put a statement out there to try and fix it.
That's right. And what I want to do, I just happened to stumble upon that, is that just try to bring people information as it becomes available. I don't care if it's something on social media or something that we just saw in a game. We try to talk about it. I think everybody who watched the Trevor Lawrence thing knows something probably hit you somewhere that felt weird, right? Yeah. So if they didn't address that, I'm actually surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
If they didn't really address that in a statement or something, it would shock me. because, and I think with Louver probably being around, that's probably what that statement is saying.
Yep.
From the bench, I subbed with HGA a few times. Really nice slabs. Love the label and potential for the customs. I'm gonna tell you the truth though, right? When I saw custom colors, I knew this company is not going. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
Just my gut told me that's. I actually got an HGA 9 Herbert optic out of 50 for 642, for example. 199 PSA sold for 870. So if you have cars in these slabs, what are you doing?
You're holding them, or you're cracking them. I know that what I would be doing if I got a, and some people look for HGA slabs out there because they potentially are thinking about possibly cracking them maybe and resubmitting them back into, PSA or BGS, right? Or SGC, whichever one they choose. But from what I've seen, the resale value on HGA, if you try and go that route, you'll get pennies on the dollar as far as what the actual worth of that card is in a better slab.
So have you watched you a basketball fan?
Oh yeah.
So did you watch Suns Dallas last night?
I watched the Mavericks. I don't know where the Suns were. My son and I sat on the couch last night, and it probably was gut wrenching for the Suns fans out there, unfortunately. But it was the Luka show.
Oh, Joe, what's up? It's good, always good to have Joe here. He said he cracked his Burrow orange scope and sent it to PSA, both 9s, but more liquid in the PSA slab. So that answer was my question. That's what people are doing. That's what you said. So you want to make some predictions about Golden State and Phoenix? Oh, excuse me, Golden State and Dallas? What do you think is going to happen there?
I mean, I was on your live last night. I said it. I'll say it again. I think it's going to be the Heat and the Golden State in the finals. I just, Golden State's got something special brewing over there in that team right now. And I'm starting to see, like you said last night, I'm starting to see glimpses of what they did when they went on a run. Right?
Think about it. Iguodala and Barnes are the only two people, and Poole came in. But Clay and Steph are still there, and they're recreating. This starting 5 is probably better than that starting 5.
Yeah.
So I believe they're going on another run. We'll see.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Golden State, nobody's giving them anything. If they didn't learn that against Memphis, nobody's like, oh man, that's Steph over there. Let's give them the series. Nobody's doing that.
No. And I mean, if Miami gets past Boston, which I'm a Miami fan, so if they get through Boston, which I think it's going to be out of the 2 series, to be honest with you, with the Golden State and the Mavs and the Heat and the Celtics, I think the Heat and Celtics are going to put up a strong showing as far as
they are.
Viewership.
Defense.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this question. I always play devil's advocate. Who's scoring on Miami? Miami is a great defensive team. Right? Who scores the basketball?
But Butler's going to do his thing.
Yeah, Butler's going to do his thing.
Yeah. Everybody's talking
about Miami. Bam. Who's going to score?
Well, I mean, everybody is trying to look at Hero to come out, but he doesn't have the points. He doesn't. I mean, if you look at the last, I think, 7 games or something like that, he's averaging maybe 10 or 15 points a game. That's just not going to cut it. What surprises me about Miami and Pat Riley and the head coach over there is the bench. They got people on the bench that nobody's heard about that could come out and put 20 points on the board in one night, right? Not a lot of benches can say the same.
No, Peeps is talking about Oladipo. Was surprised.
Yep.
He will. But isn't he still recovering from something?
He's already getting healthy. He's gonna start playing, I think, in this series. I think also Kyrie might make an appearance. Kyle Lowry.
Isn't he hurt though?
He has been hurt. But there were talks that he might be coming into this series.
No. I mean, we can't sleep on Miami. They've proven themselves. They've gotten there. That's the only question I have about them. Is they're a great defensive team, so they keep you from scoring, which keeps the game tight. or gives them an advantage when Butler starts going off or Bam starts dominating in the paint, grabbing rebounds and things like that. But I just don't know if they run into a team that scores the basketball and can get through that defense. Who's scoring?
Yeah, I agree.
I love Oladipo. Oladipo. I've always loved his game. I watched tonight that he hurt himself. I mean, it's
yeah. I can tell you this. I was happy to see that Boston got past the Bucks because I didn't want to see the Bucks against the Heat. I don't think it would have been even close.
I was counting down centers, right? Jokic out, Embiid out, Giannis out. Like every potentially great center in the playoffs.
Even Ja. I mean, Ja's not a center, but Ja was out for a few games there. Although during the season, Memphis played better, believe it or not, without Ja than with him.
What sparked the question for me is does Memphis they play better without Ja?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like too many people are watching him. Like he's doing something amazing. I'll say that, but a lot of people are watching him do something amazing. Instead of I used to play. This is totally different. But back in the day, I used to play with a guy who won the Division II Heisman Trophy. Right, it's called the Harlan Hill Award. If you've never heard of it, and he would run the football, and people will watch him, like that's blocking for him, man. Like there'll be receivers out on the hash, like looking back, watching him run instead of like really blocking. And coaches would go crazy, like, "What are you doing? What are you watching this guy for?" So, but when I see Ja play, I see people doing the same thing, like just watching this guy.
Yeah, Zion reminds me a little bit of what Ja's going through right now. Zion is a strong player, and he plays so hard, which probably caused him to get hurt, right? And we saw a little bit of a glimpse of that in Ja, where he plays hard, man. He plays hard, and he got hurt, but he might have to slow it down a little bit if he wants to prolong his career.
No, Sin City, I say small guards catch hell in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So Ja, at some point, and people could say, after you hating, I'm not hating. I just watch a lot of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Ja, at some point, is going to develop a jump shot.
Yep.
That keeps him away from contact and going. Luckily, he doesn't go to the ground as much as Dwayne Wade did.
Right.
But you have to keep him away from contact. And Jordan Poole reaching out and grabbing his knee didn't give him a bone bruise.
Yeah. No.
So, Baker Boy has a question here. Can Curry's knees hold on Luka gonna punish Curry? So let me just say this for this series, right? I'll be shocked if Curry and Luka guard each other.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
So there'll be Baker Boy. Let me just break something down to you before this series starts. There's going to be limited interaction unless you're talking about the ball going through a basket.
Yeah.
And both of them on the same court at the same time. Klay Thompson, several other people are going to be guarding Luka. I
can tell you this: they'll be double teaming Luka. If they saw this last series, they'll have to double team Luka if they're going to stop him.
You know what I would do though? I would double team sometimes, throw some length at him, long arms, somebody that can move their feet, but just go let Luka do his thing. The two people that will not do what they just did, if the Golden State Warriors are going to win, is Dinwiddie and Brunson.
Yeah, they have to be stopped.
They got to be stopped. Dinwiddie has to realize that he's probably back with the Washington Wizards somewhere. Like he's not scoring 30 points like that against a team. It's not happening. No. That's what Phoenix went wrong.
Yeah, they'll have a plan for those guys. Luka will put up his 30, 40 points, but that's not going to win you a basketball game if you stop everybody else.
Nope. And that's how Dallas will go home. That's what I'm thinking. Baker Boy says Dallas in 7. I don't think that series is going 7.
No.
Not going 7. I love you. I love it though, Baker Boy. I love it when my people get on and they instantly start hating on Curry, right? I love this. I love it. I can only imagine if you're a top-notch player like that and you hit the court and you hear all these fans saying certain things and you're just sinking shots. And you're looking back at people like, okay.
Let your play do your talking, right?
That's right. Wiggins will also be a person that's on Luka.
Don't be surprised you see Kuminga come in the game sometimes just to get some length and someone that can move their feet. There's going to be a bunch of people coming at him. Yep. Kuminga getting any time guarding Luka? I think so. Yeah. Jalen Hurts, huh? What about Jalen Hurts? I gotta hear that one. What about Jalen Hurts? Luka is smarter than you think. Yeah, he is. But he's also one person on the court.
Right.
If Michael Jordan, people, couldn't win a championship by himself, if he couldn't beat the Boston Celtics by himself, there's no one walking that's going to beat one team that has all these different type of players kind of coming at you. I'm happy for Luka, though. He needed to get Porzingis out of town. And just think of if Porzingis was still there, Dallas is not beating Phoenix.
No. It's Luka's team. You know what I'm saying? It's Luka's team. But like you said, if other teams figure out to start guarding those other guys, Luka's not going to get very far in the next round.
My man Flippin' Steve is here. What's up, Flippin' Steve? What's going on? He says dominant team defense, great wing play. Celtics win it all. Okay.
Oh,
that's
Steve.
Yeah, you know those Celtics and Miami have great defense, so you can never count those teams out. But Flippin' Steve, I'm just saying, man, don't sleep on. You got some guys that are running around in Golden State that if they can humble themselves and come out and play aggressively and don't take anything for granted, they're on the verge of some greatness. If Clay, Draymond, and Curry win another championship, they have 4. Right? That puts them into some amazing company as far as conversations.
Absolutely.
On the level of greatness. Clay is a little bit away from scoring 20,000 points. He will be NBA top 100. Draymond played great defense against Jokic. And he's proven himself to be a great defensive player. And he still runs point for the team, which is crazy. So it'll be interesting. But I'll say this, and I respect Flippin' Steve. The 4 teams that are in there, I think unlike most years, you can probably see each one of them win the championship.
Yeah, you got the 4 best teams in there.
And that's what the cool thing is about this year's playoffs, right? So from the bench says, why does everyone hate super teams? Yeah, this is what I was just talking about. When we've been seeing them since the 80s. Chicago always brought in big names to help. Boston and Pierce. Boston had Pierce, Allen, and KG. I don't know. I think people sometimes get sick of winning and greatness. Most people walking around don't want to see Brady win another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Brady's the GOAT, man. Ain't nobody coming close to him.
Oh, Baker Boy said Draymond too busy doing his podcast. You know, in all sports, you have off day, right, Baker Boy? Do whatever you like to do with it, man. Oh, that's funny. Does Boban play this series? It would be just a little. I think just a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be garbage time.
Yeah. Did you see the play yesterday? Well, Boban has the ball at the end of the game. The young guard from Phoenix takes the ball from him, goes down the court to 3, and Boban is about to lose it on this guy.
Boban's about to crush him with one swing.
And you don't see him. I mean, his teammates, coaches, everybody's talking. You don't see him get that upset about anything.
Well, I mean, he felt disrespected, right? Yeah. He was trying to run the clock out.
Yep.
You got Holiday come up from behind him, steal it, and then not only steal it, but drain the 3 to end the game.
And you're getting blown out, people.
Yeah.
What is that? You know what he said, man? I'm going to get on the stat sheet. I'm going to tell my grandbabies I was on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
What do you think about buying in a dip? I know you hear people talk about this term. I've talked about it before. What do you think about that?
I think buying the dip is any market out there that we're in right now. You know, you got stocks, you got crypto, you got the sports car market, you got the Marvel market. You have all these markets that are potential money winners for people. So there's ebbs and flows. And if you've been in the game long enough, you know that we're in a downtrend right now.
Yep.
But that downtrend, with the amount of money that's in these industries, it's going to go back up again. So for myself, my personal experience, I always try to keep a nest egg of capital on the wayside for these situations when they pop up. A lot of people don't prepare themselves for these dips, and what people should be happy about, at least for myself, is when these dips come, it's a buying opportunity for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I start buying during these times.
I'm out. I see cars, right? I can't tell you how many Patrick Mahomes cards that were crazy prices. A little bit more realistic right now.
Yeah.
Right? There's some Luka stuff that was like, ooh, man, I can't believe he's in his third year and his cars are what?
Yeah.
A little bit more realistic right now.
Well, Luka just got a bump, so.
Oh yeah, because of the situation.
Yeah, I saw my Slabs. My Slabs is another platform that I go to. So many Luka cars got dumped last night, so flood the market. Yep, flood the market, and I'll touch on this a little bit before we move on. The PMG Marvel market exploded right back in January.
Yep.
Those cars were a couple $100 about a year ago, right? Nobody even cared about those PMGs. Then all of a sudden they exploded, and then Golden had an auction that dumped about 100 PMGs at the same time. And when you're influxing that amount of cards, the same type of cards into a market at the same time, there's only so many buyers out there with the capital to be able to invest in certain cards out there, and that's why a lot of people saw the PMG market kind of take a dip, and people call it a crash, but that's not a crash; it's a correction. It came back down to reality. When you're selling a Captain America blue PMG for $70,000 a couple months ago, and then you see it go on Golden a couple weeks ago for $20,000, that's a correction. It's a big correction, but it's a correction that had to happen. And they weren't going to continue to go up, is what I'm trying to say.
But the way I saw it was the sale that was for $70,000. That was one sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was one sale.
Yeah, because a lot of these cards number one, a lot of these cards weren't graded.
Yeah.
Right. We had to put that into perspective. And there are a lot of low pop cards as far as those are concerned, which that's going to change because a lot of people that had PMGs that saw that spike, they're going to send their cards now into PSA and try to capitalize on that. So the pop counts are going to go up. But there just isn't that many investors out there willing to spend that kind of money on so many cards at one time. And when that happens, when there's an influx, supply and demand, right? Too much supply, not enough demand.
But like you said, it's been a correction. Like if you look at the PSA 10 2003 LeBron James Topps Chrome, that card was 52,000 at one point.
Yeah, it's below 10,000, I think, right now.
That's right. That was there's a significant pop count on that card.
Yeah.
That card was at 7,500, 8,200 at one point, and now it's kind of creeping a little bit back up.
Yep.
Yeah, but that card was $50,000 card.
Yeah.
So
the same thing's going to happen with the Brady Bowman Chrome out there too. A lot of people are coming out of the woodworks and trying to dump those cards on the market right now too.
So when Brady said I'm retiring, right? People were all over Brady cards. You saw some prices start ticking up. But then when he walked the sandy beaches, he looked around a little bit and he said, "You know what? I still got some play in me." When he said he was coming back, then people were like, "Oh, hey, man!"
Everybody had to see he was coming back. His last year in Tampa Bay, this past season, was his best season as far as stats were concerned. He didn't win a title. That was the icing on the cake. But his stats were one of the best in recent years. So you can't go out like that, right? So a lot of people had
the pass that he threw to Evans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't torch Ramsey and then hang your helmet up.
No.
Can't do that. So we got to come back and get back at this business. And then I heard that, there's some talk about him and the head coach, Arians, were
Yep.
not on the best page.
Well,
So
you saw that correction.
yeah. So we
The
sent
guy
him
that wrote that.
upstairs, and we got the guy that most people on the team really rally around. He's not a head coach.
Yeah.
They're not done making roster moves. Please don't think that. I mean, we got a
No.
lot of receivers that are out here that aren't signed.
Absolutely.
Brady has reportedly taken a pay cut, just like normal, to get more people on that team.
Yeah. I mean, there was talks of T.O. maybe. T.O. coming out of retirement.
I think more of someone like Julio Jones.
Yeah. Just the injury bug might hurt him a little bit, but still, that's a good weapon to have, right?
You can't
I thought,
but you can't be a big receiver like Julio Jones and not get hurt.
no. I'm a Roger fan, so, you know.
He has no help, right? He has
None.
No.
It's the same story all over again, right?
But I always ask this question, right? And it's good to talk to you since you're a Rodgers fan. Brady takes historical pay cuts every year. I'm going to take that pay cut. Give me some receivers. Give me somebody on defense, right? Rodgers does not do that.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Rodgers is a handful. He's a drama queen, I think. He brings a lot of baggage. And you know, it shows with what's on TV.
Flippin' Steve says Brady wants to play for Miami.
Oh, there you go.
You know, Flippin' Steve, it would be good. I know you're a Dolphins fan, man. But believe me, I know. It would be good for that franchise to do something besides drafting Dan Marino.
Yeah.
They have done anything 72, man, besides drafting Dan Marino.
Yeah. My dad had season tickets when I lived in Miami, and I'm a Fins fan, right? I'm a Rodgers fan as a quarterbacks is concerned for investment purposes, but I grew up a fan, and I wish they would have gone after Brady. I just don't think Tua has an arm to.
No, I don't believe in Tua.
And the Tyreek thing. Tyreek's going to have little spurts of magic this season, but nothing like he had when he was with the Chiefs.
No, I think he's going to be very frustrated.
Yeah.
He'll be like DK Metcalf last year in Seattle with who was his quarterback? I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
The backup to DK.
The backup.
DK was just running routes, man.
Yeah.
Just running routes.
Yeah.
From the bench says, FD, didn't you know you can't be good at your day job if you have hobbies for your evenings and weekends? Very true. Very, very true. The irony of that. What do you think when people use the term pump and dump? What comes to your mind, Sin City?
That's been thrown around a lot lately, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Man. So me as a collector, first and foremost, when I put stuff out there on IG, for example, people can consider that to be a pump, with that word being used loosely nowadays, right? But what I'm doing is I'm just showing, being happy with my collection and sharing that with others out there on IG, right? That's how I foresee it. But you have people in the hobby right now, people outside looking in that might call that a pump and dump of, me pumping up my Marvel cards or me pumping up my Star Wars cards. But a lot of people have to take a step back and just breathe for a second, right? Collectors started this hobby.
Speak on it.
Not investors.
Mm-hmm.
And that was first and foremost when this hobby first started. It was a collecting hobby, not an investment hobby. So I would say the majority of people out there still collecting to this day are true collectors, and they just want to show off their collection, right? They want to talk about their collection and what they love and their passion for whatever niche that they're in. And that's how I see it, man.
I always go back to them. Some people have said, well, FD, you always look at the positivity that's out there. But I say that I represent what I actually do, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I do. This is what I've done for years. So this is what I'm on. So I always think that it's on me to understand where am I putting my dollars. I don't care if it's Junior and I want to open some cards. G and I want to open some cards. We've opened some cards and handed them to my youngest son. He's 2.5. He doesn't know what is what, right? We're handing him something, but he likes the fact that he's in the circle with us and we're all doing something together. So if I want to just have fun with them, I still know where I'm putting my dollars. If I want to buy a card that I'm trying to collect a certain player that I like that has an investment potential in the market, it's still on me to know where I'm putting my dollars.
Exactly.
So, City, if you like, man, I'm posting these Bobo pictures, right? I love me some Bobo. I see you out at a game. You're watching the game somewhere. You put something on IG. It's like 2 minutes left in the game. Bobo's in the game. Man, look at Bobo. You're talking about Bobo, right? If I look at that and I say, you know what, I'm gonna go out and buy some Bobo cards, I should at least know where I'm putting my dollars.
That's on you, right?
It's on you. And I say this because I have friends we all have friends and we may even participate in the stock market, right? I'll hear somebody say, oh, I'm buying X stock. I don't see people running to buy X stock because that person said that.
Right.
The people that I know still put that work in, their due diligence in. They're looking at the financial statements of the company if it's a publicly traded company. They're doing all these things to understand, is this where I should put my dollars?
Yep.
And then when I look at that, I think the same way when I come over to something dealing with collectibles, an autograph, or a card that I may want to purchase. I'm still wearing the same hat. I got to think through this process of where I want to put funds.
Yep.
And I hear people say, well, a lot of people out there don't do that, and they listen to people who tell them where to put dollars. I would look in the camera or talk to someone in person and say, well, then we need to do that. And I think that puts an end to someone talking about pumping and dumping.
I agree. I believe, FD, first and foremost, you should collect what you love.
That's right.
Stop chasing cards out there, and I am guilty of this because I've gone down that rabbit hole. Stop collecting cards that other people like, and start collecting stuff that you like. And I promise you will enjoy this hobby much more than not.
I don't know any other way of saying it, man. And I'm not saying this to take the light off someone or to shed more light on someone else. I'm just saying what I actually do. It could be anyone. It could be some of the biggest content creators that we know of. They could get on, have an episode, and say, I'm buying this. If I do my research and that doesn't make sense to me, then I like the content. It's cool. But that's not making me go out and let me go to Burbank and see if I can find those cars. Let me get on eBay and see if I can find those cars. Let me go to a show and see if I can find that card. It's not making me do that. Now, some people may think, well, I may miss out on something. That's cool, man. Because I can remember back when I started buying Steph Curry cards, nobody was talking about Steph Curry.
Right.
You couldn't, I promise you this, you couldn't turn on a content creator that was talking about Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You just got to do your thing. And then you take ownership of what you did. You feel good about it. Like Sin City's talking about, you made the decision to purchase that. You can look at and I know, like I talked to Cool's guy. He's in Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He buys all Cool's cards. He loves his collection.
Yeah. And
but
he's enjoying
it. He enjoys that. He made the decision to do that. He has some very nice cool cards, man.
Yeah.
Very nice. He loves that. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. My dad taught me this, and this is how I make my decisions. He taught me, you don't listen to anybody but yourself, and you do your own research. With what we have in our disposal right now, being at a cell phone,
you got it in the palm of your hand, bro.
Palm of your hand. We have how many platforms out there? And I'm not sponsored by anybody that I'm about to mention, but you got Sports Card app, you got Card Ladder, you got you got all these things at your disposal that give you data, right? and you do your research, you take that data, and then you make a decision on what you want to do. Right? That's what I do. That's how I make my decisions. Again, going back to the pump and dump scene, it's all in what people want to believe in. But I tell people this: believe in what you collect. And if you love a card and it someday explodes and you want to make some money off of it, then make some money off it, right? That's your choice.
And I'm the way I tell the story all the time. In 2003, I go to Miami. Every time I used to go to Miami, I went to Miami on vacation for spring break. I was in school. So every time I would go somewhere, I would go to a local card store in that city. So I go into the card store. LeBron James is big at the time. He's a rookie. Carmelo Anthony is big. Dwayne Wade is big. I knew Carmelo. I knew LeBron. I knew Carmelo Anthony from the Syracuse run and won a national championship. But I really didn't know Dwayne Wade. I heard of him a little bit from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Saw him in the tournament. He put Marquette on his back. But no way did I think at the time, I was 28 years old. No, I didn't think at the time that this is going to translate into who this guy is going to be in the future. So I go into the car store. The owner of the car store is trying to convince me. He has about 6 or 7 graded rookie Dwayne Wade cards out at 9.5 BGS to buy these cards. And he was going to give me a deal. And I was like, I don't know that guy. I'm not buying that. Like, who you think I am? Man? I come in here, you tell me, you're going to tell me that this guy, I'm not going for that. So I didn't buy anything. I just don't follow people like that.
Yeah.
Right. But I did leave and did some research, and I thought, oh, damn, I probably should
have picked him up.
Probably should listen to that guy. But that's not how I get down.
Yeah. Do your research, man. Everybody out there that's listening, do your research. There's a lot of gems that you can find, and for little money, and you can enjoy it while you're at it. Don't go chasing cards that everybody else is telling you to go chase.
What we got here? Travis, thank you for subbing, sir. I appreciate you. It's good to have you here. Okay, so this came up today. Thoughts on Pat Beverly today on ESPN. So basically, Pat Beverly at a high level got on ESPN and just dogged out Chris Paul, saying Chris Paul is not a good player. Everybody in the league knows that he can't play defense, can't guard anybody. Just going on and on about Chris Paul. I just wonder when I was listening to this, what made Pat Beverly get on today and start talking about this? Because Chris Paul got put out yesterday? I know he has a dislike for Chris Paul. They got into a shoving match. He pushed him on the back. All that happened. But I just wonder why he got on today. So Damian Lillard released some tweets like, dude, what's up with you? Why are you so passionate about disliking this man and hating on this guy? And then Matt Barnes was on from Up in Smoke podcast. He was on and he talked about how on his worst day, Chris Paul's better than you, Patrick Beverly. And then Dame Lillard came back and said Pat Beverly averaged 11 points a game because no one guards him.
Oh man, CP3 is going to the Hall of Fame, hands down.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's put up the numbers to go to the Hall of Fame. What I don't like about CP3 is how he plays on the court, the things that he does. Like in the last series, you had this rookie that was just D'ing him up, and CP3 acts like he's shooting a jump shot, and he kicks the man in the groin on purpose.
Yeah.
And then tries to act like it's an accident. Those are the things about him that just, when I'm sitting and I'm watching, it's just CP3 is something else, man.
Yeah. People aren't ready for stuff like that. And, right or wrong, I mean, how much stuff did they do back in the 80s and 90s?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was
You know what I mean? Them were the days, man. The Detroit Pistons, the bad boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was crazy. So we got a question here. Did you see Steve Aoki's first pitch? Did anybody see this?
No.
Okay, let me. While we're rolling here, let me do a little research to see if I can find this on YouTube.
Yeah, look it up.
I would love to see this.
I know he was out in Fenway. He took a picture.
I saw that.
Yeah, he took a picture with I think Jeff Wilson.
Oh wow, this is right in the search engine. First is Steve Aoki. Second is first pitch. All right. See if I can get a good. Oh, he threw out something with the Dodgers in 2015. Let's see if I can get a good video on this. All right, let's see here, people. Let's see here. We need a drum roll. All right, let's see if we can see this. Hold on. Yeah. Let me share. All right, everybody can see this. Oh, wow. Can we
Oh man, if you could zoom in on that.
Oh, hold on here. Let me go full screen. Are you all seeing this?
Did he just throw that ball in the stands?
He threw this ball, man, almost to the concession stands. You know what I love though? Watch his kick, right? Watch his leg kick and his form. Watch this. Wow.
Yeah. I'd say stick to music.
Amazing. Amazing, man. Trader Griff's, thank you for that one. That was amazing. I would just say we could show 50 Cent. We could show a lot of people. If you have the opportunity to throw out a first pitch, go somewhere and get some practice. Practice that thing. Don't just get up there in front of people with the ball and then. Because remember, 50 Cent came with the medium shirt. Like he's showing off every bit of muscle he has. And then he throws the ball way over here somewhere.
Steve Aoki's being big in the hobby right now, man.
Yeah, he's very big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Collects a lot of Marvel.
Does Marvel, MetaZoo. Mm-hmm. He's at probably every. I mean, he did breaks at the All-Star game. I mean, he's around, representing and doing a lot. But if we ever
still has to practice a little bit on his throws, though.
Sin City, when we see Steve Aoki, we gotta say, "Hey, man, what was over that pitch, bro?" And you know what's funny, right? If anybody's seen me shoot jump shots or free throws, you can say the same thing to me. Hey,
it wasn't our sport.
Hey, I tell you this, man, and I can't make an excuse, but sometimes the ball seems light, and sometimes it's like I'm not trying to overshoot the basket, and I'm not even touching the rim on the shot. So we all have our weaknesses, man.
Absolutely.
Oh man, flipping Steve comes in here, right? And this question's for you. This question, Steve is not asking me. Give me your top point guards of all time.
Oh man, I think this is a question asked weekly. I'm telling you, you gotta make a show about it.
People love to talk basketball, man. What I do love is, I'll say this: I was with Wiz, I was with Mike, I was with K Fornos, I was with several people in the lobby in Del Mar, and we got into literally a 2-hour discussion, a little over 2 hours, about top 25 NBA all time. And it was a good discussion, man. We had a lot of fun. People laughing, joking. It was a lot of fun. Top point guards all time. Let me see if I can go off the dome. Magic Johnson is number 1 for me. Steph Curry. I have I think a lot about Stockton, number 3. Let me keep digging here. 4 and 5 is going to be interesting. Let me see.
Oscar?
Who?
Oscar? Was he a point guard?
Yeah, Oscar's on that list. I would put Oscar on that list. I got love for Oscar Robertson, man. Let's see here. Who would be number 5? I got some people say Dame Lillard. I wouldn't say Dame Lillard. See, you got me here. Let me see top. See who would be my number 5. Was Jerry West a point guard? I wouldn't consider him a point guard.
No. It's more of a power forward, I think.
More of a power forward. I'm gonna go GP. I'm gonna go Gary Payton.
Okay.
Steve, I love this question. Steve knows me.
It's gonna pop up.
Knows me, man. He asked, "What about Isaiah Thomas?"
Oh, Isaiah Thomas.
That's not my thing, man. He said he only asked because this question sparked 45 minutes of debate on one of my lives. Really? Really? 45 minutes. Steve, give me your top 5. I'd be interested. Steve has good sports knowledge. He likes Zeke. You know, being from Chicago, I just can't. IT, I could I love what you collect. You know where I'm at, people. You know where I'm at. I just can't. There are too many factors of why I cannot. I'm sorry, but give me your love what you collect. Give me your top 5. Steve, please give me your top 5. I'd love to hear it. Point guard is one of those positions like center. You know, it's interesting to hear what people think about who's in the top 5.
Yeah, I can agree with
that. Martin says FD is sandbag and don't fall for it. He's gonna want to play $1,000 a game of horse. I can remember a time in my life though that I was pretty decent in basketball. I can remember that. Not now. Flipping Steve, which one? LOL. The hate is real for Zeke. I don't hate Zeke. I don't hate Zeke. Did anybody see at the NBA 75 when Zeke? Hold on here. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to be about it.
Just break it out. Just break it out.
Yeah. This is the same way I feel about Zeke. Right? Let me show this. See how long this is. Let me get something shorter. Hold on here. Okay, here we go, people. Hold on here. This is how I feel about Zeke. When people talk about Zeke, okay, hold on. All right, when people talk about Zeke, now I'm Michael Jordan in this scenario right here, right? Watch this. Just watch this. Steph is there, Magic is there, Jordan is there. Zeke comes up, talking to Magic. Watch Michael Jordan. Magic's like, all right, man. Watch Magic. Watch Michael's face. They go forward. Magic turns around and talk to him. Yeah, look at Zeke, man. They're laughing. And you can see Michael lip read. I wasn't going to talk to him. So the question is, right? Why does Michael Jordan feel that way?
That's a good question.
And I'm a Chicago. I'm a Jordan Chicago follower now. The answer is when Michael in his first All-Star game, George Iceman Gervin and Isaiah Thomas, Michael felt locked him out. He always said they iced him out. They wouldn't pass him the ball in the All-Star game, right? And then Zeke did many things while Jordan was trying to come up and do his thing with the Detroit Pistons. People always say that Mike had to go through Isaiah to come on, man.
Nah.
Come on. Isaiah doesn't have that kind of grip on anything in NBA history.
No.
Right? So then when in 91, when the Bulls put the Pistons out, okay, again, I'm gonna get this evidence, right? Because people keep asking these questions. We're not gonna talk about it, we're gonna be about it. So let me
facts.
The facts. Let me pull something up here.
Love what you connect and Flipping Steve are firing off.
I'm so glad this question was asked.
All right, here we go, people. Hold on here. This is one of the best days in sports history for me. I'm 17 years old. 17 people. This is beautiful. Finally got this team off the court. Just watch this. Just watch this, people. And I think this is going to speak for itself of why you don't hear me talk about Isaiah Thomas. Pip's doing this thing. Game's coming to an end. Give you some commentary here. We got 4 minutes. Let's get to the end here. We'll fast forward a little bit. People are clapping hands. The starters of Detroit, Aguirre, all these people are leaving the court. You see a young Rodman there, Chuck Daly. All right. We get to the end of the game here. Watch this. End of the game. Just watch Isaiah Thomas. The microwave there, I love him. Probably one of my favorite Detroit Pistons players. All this hugging going on, right? Let's keep watching. We'll fast forward a little bit more. We get to the end of the game. Last 18 seconds, people. Isaiah Thomas is walking right here, right? Watch where he goes. Just watch him. Walks right past Jordan. Ducks his head down. Onto the locker room. Now, Isaiah Thomas tried to say later, I got the history on all this. Sometimes you got to have the receipts, they say, right? Isaiah Thomas tried to say later that Bill Laimbeer suggested, oh, let's not shake hands. Let's go to the locker room. So with anybody, this is the reason why I can't mess with Isaiah Thomas. Sin City, if I won 2 championships, at this point, Isaiah Thomas has won 2 championships, right? We're already past what he said about Larry Bird.
Right.
Right? Everybody knows the history now. We're past that. You have 2 championships under your belt. This is how you exit the court?
It's a bad play.
And there's always been a rift between Jordan and Isaiah because Mark Aguirre from Chicago.
There's always,
Isaiah grew up in Chicago, went to Indiana. Isaiah thought that he was the best player in Chicago. That's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Right?
Yeah, Jordan hadn't forgot about them times. That's
so
why
when you see Mike back there,
Magic.
when you see Mike behind Magic, and Mike's like, I wasn't going to talk to that guy.
Yeah. You don't forget about those things.
So I hope that answered everyone's question on why Zeke will probably never be in my top 5. You don't even hear me talk about him. Wish him the best, though. But when it comes down to basketball, and then we won't even go on into what happened, his post-career coaching, New York Knickerbockers, him putting Jalen Rose on the bench. There's so many things. I know this man's resume. There's so many things we could talk about. I won't even get into that. Modern crime and cars. Curry, Nash, AI, Magic, Josh Giddey. Now you had me. You had me until you got to Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey.
Come on, man. Josh Giddey, all time. So a guy comes out, youngest with a triple-double.
Yeah.
And now he's on the all-time list? Hey, modern crime. That is a modern crime. Come on, bro. Yeah, no handshake, man. You know, like I said, I don't even bring this up. I don't even bring up Isaiah Thomas until somebody asks me that question. I'll flip and see Magic, Steph, Big O, Logo Man, Zeke for me. That's a solid list. That's a solid list. Magic, Big O, Stockton, Curry, Jerry West, and honorable mention to my man Bob Cousy. Yeah, Bob Cousy was a good player. He was a good player. Flip and see says Zeke won 2 titles and was the leader of a squad, the Bad Boy Pistons, that was transcended generations. I can't use sportsmanship to take away his talent or accomplishments. I feel you. Flip and Steve, I'm just going to tell you, bro, you grew up in Chicago. You're not having none of that, man. You're not having none of that.
None of that. From afar, right? From afar, you may look and say, man, he transcended. I don't even use the word transcended when it comes to Isaiah Thomas. I just can't go there, man. You all know my kryptonite now, right? You start talking about Isaiah Thomas, might see a different side of FD come out. Can't go there. I never forget Zeke and his hoop dreams. Oh, yeah, it wasn't hoop dreams. He was. He was. Most people don't bring out hoop dreams. I got that. I got to fit Allen Iverson in there somewhere. You should. AI was a good player. I agree with Love What You Collect. She had Magic, Curry, Stockton, IT, Big O. Allen Iverson, was a very good player. But that's my soapbox. I'll get off of that now. Get me riled up talking about Isaiah Thomas. Man. You never seen this. You like looking like what?
No, I love it, man. I love it.
I can't get into it, man.
They always get you started on your top 25, man.
Well, like I said before, when we were young, everybody had a list. All my friends had a list, and we would debate and talk and go back and forth. I'm just excited to see KD, because I still believe KD will be a top player when he finishes playing the game. Giannis, when all those players move into the top 10. Steph Curry, some people don't have him there now. I have him at 9. When those players move into the top 10, it's going to be an interesting list then. Zeke is top 5. Man, y'all got me wrong. Really? Okay, Zeke top 5. He's top 5 on a note. I can give a header to that list. Won't be greatest point guards of all time. Okay, better question. AI or CP3? Oh, I got to go AI all day.
Yeah, AI.
Is there a comparison?
Yeah.
Steve, is there a comparison? No comparison, I don't think. What does the group think? Maybe I'm crazy. But CP3 is not high on my list as far as all-time point guards. I mean, we saw a stat yesterday. He's been in 5 playoff series where his team was up 2-0 and they lost. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, what's some other great topics we can jump into, Sensei?
Oh, whatever you want, man. Talk about Marvel comics, sports.
Let's break out some comic books.
I got you.
Let me grab a few here. That'll get me off this Zeke stuff. Is anybody out there? Okay, top point guards. That's my last question. Anybody out there owning some Zeke stuff? Got some PC Zeke? Let's talk about it. Why all the people gonna get quiet now? Let's talk about it. Well, the way this is developing, I said I got a lot of comic books in storage that probably in the next 4 to 5 months I'm going to be breaking out and seeing what we need to get graded. Trying to build a relationship with some people to press and clean some stuff, and then go from there.
You and I both. I have a long box filled with comics that I've picked up in the last few months that I want to make sure they get graded because a lot of key issues, some variants, some virgins. I'm real big into the virgins. The virgins.
Oh yeah, man, they're nice. And so everybody knows that's no header on the comic book. Like I'll show you this old school one, right? This has a header up here.
Yeah.
There's no header on what he has. It's like a clean art piece, and it's a variant of a lot of comics.
Yeah. So I'm real big on those. There's certain books that I've been picking up. Here's a real nice one right here.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Batman Who Laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Signed by the artist. But a lot of those comics.
The city has that Odd People. You find those gems.
Yeah. And then obviously I got some graded stuff. The old #1 Star Wars.
Oh, that's nice, man. 9.2? That's nice.
I wanted it to be a little bit higher, but take a 9.2 for now until I upgrade.
Do you get into what the circulation is on these when you get them graded like that?
I'm starting to dive into that stuff.
I'm just starting to dive into it too.
Yeah, there's I think there's an app called Go Collect that covers comics.
And then you can log right into CGC itself.
Yep.
And but you don't have to pay. It's just a login, and you can pull up the number that's on the card. It'd be cool if they get to a point though, which I don't know. Though. I don't think so. Where you can scan stuff and see.
Well, they had a barcode right there, but I don't think there's an app that'll pick up that information yet.
I don't think so either. Hopefully it's coming. Hopefully it is coming. Like I picked up this Spider-Man.
Nice.
361, which is the
Carnage.
first cover of Carnage.
Yep.
It's cool in a 9.8. I think the circulation on this is a little over 1,200, which in comics is that's like hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back into some of these comments here. We got some comedy going on. So Flippin' Steve says, I have an immaculate as at times. I've seen your card, sir. That's a nice card. The redeeming part of that card is that Joe Dumars is one. Now, if you want to ask me about who I do like from Detroit, was young Dennis Rodman, the Vinny, the Microwave, and Joe Dumars. I respect Joe Dumars a lot.
Yeah.
Just so you know, when you saw Zeke walking off the court, right? Joe Dumars came through, shook everybody's hand. Something to be said for that, man. Spidey said, y'all need to hit up my friend Valo Comics for clean and press.
I'm going to write that down right now.
I'm going to do that right now, sir. When my man Spidey speaks.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Valor
Spidey.
Comics. I think he mentioned Valor to me before, too.
Yeah, I think he's mentioned it in a couple of his streams. But yeah, definitely now more than ever, I probably got about 50 books that I want to send off for grading. That it could use a press and a clean.
Baker Boy is messing around saying Steve is pumping Zeke and Joe. No, he's not. You know what? I tell people all the time. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to give Steve some roses right now. If you want to watch someone's content, I pride myself on doing the same thing. But if you want to watch someone's content who is genuine about what they collect and is talking to a card, it could be something from music, pop culture, something from sports, is Flippin' Steve. Flippin' Steve talks about what he really, really does, which is something to me to be commended. Sin City talks about what he really does. So if Sin City is showing you a comic book, it's something that he's actually interested in. You could talk to him about Marvel. He's very much interested. He just made a commitment to move from sports cards to Marvel cards.
Oh yeah, I was heavily into the sports card market, and I wasn't having fun. Yep. Wasn't having as much fun as when I was collecting Marvel cards back in the early 90s. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Flippin' Steve is awesome. I love watching his content. Speaks from the heart, and he keeps putting out real good content. Spidey as well. Oh,
Spidey does as well. Right here. Yeah. Genuine people, man. That's why when people say, oh man, you know, people pumping and dumping. We got people here in this chat room that puts out content. Love what you collect. Let me get some roses out right quick. It's roses time, right? Love what you collect puts out content on IG. It's about what she really collects. Mm-hmm. It's the truth. I've had her on a few times. We'll have on more in the future because I know what I'm gonna have on. We're gonna have a genuine conversation. It's the same way with Spidey. I've had him on. We've talked about stuff. It's a genuine conversation. He's gonna tell me what he's really thinking. I love those kind of people in the hobby. Not saying other people don't, but I do know who I'm talking about and what they do. Baker Boy, you can't read those comics now. Yeah, you can. You can get online.
Yep.
And pull this comic up and read it anytime you want to read it. Just like it is here. So when people say that, it's not the truth. Rondo or CP3. I'm picking Rondo. He shows up in the playoffs for sure. Well, let's do one more clip. Can we do one more clip, people? I played this yesterday.
Pulling the facts out, baby.
Yeah, I pulled them facts out, right? I played this yesterday, and I'm gonna play it again today. All right, let me play this right quick. Trying to get you the short version. All right, so let's play this. Get past these commercials for you. Don't want to bore you. So when I think about Rondo and I think about CP3, right? There's something that comes to mind. Let's get there, people. All right, let me go here. Yeah, this is what comes to my mind. Just watch this. Give you some commentary. CP3 comes in yelling for the foul. Brandon Ingram pushes Harden. There's some people posturing around each other. LeBron tries to get in there and break it up. Right? And then CP3 and Rondo start talking. But then we got a little. People walk away thinking the game. Ball is still here. People walk away thinking the game is just a game. Then you'll see there's a little tussle that breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
And so CP3, you'll see it here in a minute, puts his finger in Rondo's face. And then Rondo explains to him that I would please ask you not to do that. See if they show this replay here. So whenever I think of these two guys, when people make the comparison between them, which is a valid comparison, I always think about what's going on here. Puts his finger in his face.
Right in his face.
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't ever do that. That's CP3, people. I wonder who's better, CP3 or Isaiah Thomas.
Stir that pot some more.
Getting late, Louisiana. Spotty, I appreciate you being here off the bed. Get that rest. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Marvel Unlimited subscription is like $60 a year, and you can put the whole family on there. And you can read whatever you want to read.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very true.
Good point.
Very true. Yeah, well, I'm going to show a few more comics here before we get up out of here. X-Men 95. This is the second edition. I need to get this thing graded. It's in pretty good condition. Second edition of the new X-Men team.
Oh, man, that's nice.
It's kind of cool. Cool art on the cover. I love the fight scene.
Yeah.
Cool art. Got an old Sports Illustrated with the goat on there.
Oh, very nice.
And that's what is that? 8.5?
5.
And it's one with no sticker from how they used to ship these out to people. Then we got the first Venom cover, which is 316. It's a 9.2.
Very nice.
Which is kind of cool.
I'm a huge Venom collector, man. I've been chasing the Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
That's a grill to have.
That's a great.
But yeah, that's my next purchase.
People know I just put on IG. This is Amazing Spider-Man 26.
I know, I saw that.
Signed by Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, the man.
First edition ever signed by Stan Lee, which is real cool. And it's a 7.
That's a must-have in any collection, man.
Yeah, bro. When I saw this, man, I was shocked. I
got a couple of signed comics. Got this one right here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Venom number 2.
Yeah. Look at the art on that thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got the 2 artists who signed it. Mm-hmm. What I like about what CGC does is these little I forget what they call Custom labels. There we go.
Well, you have a character in the corner.
Yep.
And everybody knows, just so everybody knows, right? The yellow label that he just showed means that the artist signed it, and that was a CGC representative there when the artist signed it.
Yep.
If you see a blue label, that means that they authenticated the autograph, but a representative was not present. Hold on 1 second here.
Yep. April, I'll go ahead and jump into that question you just asked about the Star Wars card that recently sold. That I think Dan, the great curator, sold.
Oh, April has a thought on the recent big Star Wars card. Big question. Go ahead, Sensei.
Yeah. I had a chance to actually hold that card in my hand at the mint. Dan, the creator, was there. He had it in his case. But it's the Kurosawa. And those that don't know the Kurosawa, I sent mine off to grading. I have that same card, but just the refractor. Because it's a great looking card. But a little bit of history on that card is Randy Martinez is the artist. And he was on talking about that specific art piece that he did, I think 10 years ago, back in 2011 or something like that, is when he actually drew that painting. And it was bought by George Lucas. It's actually in his house, that actual art piece that Randy Martinez did. And they obviously, I think Disney has the rights to it, and they use it in all their product. But just amazing artwork. Amazing artwork, what Star Wars is doing nowadays. And I'm a Star Wars fan myself, as I saw showing you guys the Star Wars #1 that I have. So I'm a big fan of Star Wars.
So, this is going to spark the question where, like, Baker Boy leads into that the value of that card was pumped.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be some people, when you start talking about this card, I was on a live a couple of days ago. Someone asked a question about the card itself, didn't talk about the sale or who was involved in the sale and the buy. But what are your thoughts on the card?
I mean, I follow Dan, the great curator. I think a lot of his content is great, to be honest with you. And he truly collects what he loves. And he also has an investing side of him as far as his collecting goes as well. And I think I can relate to that because I can do the same thing. I have things that I collect and things that I collect to sell to fund what I love to collect. There's a strategy involved in that. And I'm looking for building my personal collection. The way that I could do that without using personal money every single time is to purchase items that could possibly increase the value of my personal collection in the future. So we're all a little bit of investors, truly true, when we think of trying to grow our collection, unless you have a bag full of money that you just don't care about blowing.
I'm going to tell you, I'll give some breaking news right now. I'm blown away right now. So, wow. So Wiley from Union Marketplace just hit me up on Instagram. We'll put this in the episode too to show. Thank you. Oh man. So we went to the Delmar show. I have a card, a LeBron James Topps Chrome, that I've had since I pulled it out of a pack. I put it in a penny sleeve and a top loader in 2003, Sin City. I went to Delmar. Slab Doctor. If anybody hasn't, there's two people, Slab Doctor and Mr. Minty. I'll talk about both of them here in California. Slab Doctor cleaned this card, gave me some ins and outs on it. I'm like jittery right now. I'm excited. told me that the car was either a 9 or a 10, right? Why did it send me while you're talking about the Star Wars car? Why did it just send me a note right now? The car is a PSA 10, bro. And people, I don't even submit cards many times. We put up the A and B on an episode just to ask what we were going to send in. I kind of knew that car was pretty it was centered correctly and it was clean because I remember when I took it out. This is just a story. It's not really about the car, right? It's a story about taking care of your cars when you first take them out of the pack. Like I could have did anything with that car, right? It was just in me at the time. We talk about comics, right? We talk about stuff being graded now. And I can remember years ago going through and putting everything in every comic in a bag with a board behind it. See what I'm talking about? Every comic with a bag with a board behind it. I just went to the comic book store the other day and picked up 100 bags and 100 backboards. And these backboards are treated, right? They're treated so they don't negatively affect your comic book. I'm excited right now, man.
That's amazing, man.
Congratulations.
That's big time.
Such a great story.
And I mean, just stuff like that to add to what you're saying. Those that practice getting those raw cards and sending them off for grading, and you're lucky enough to have it come back as a 10, and the reward of having that happen for you, that fuels your passion for the hobby. That fuels your budget to increase so you can buy other cards that are not obtainable at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people have oodles of cash laying around to invest in.
And I'm learning more and more about this. I started with Curry and stuff, buying some cards that were already graded that I wanted to have. But there are some cards that you can find that you can submit that it's real cool, man. I'm humbled. Thank you, April. I appreciate you. April and I talked about, should we submit that card or should we wait or what should we do with it? From the bench, I appreciate you. Baker Boy, appreciate you. Good stuff. Live news breaks on What's the Play.
That card right there.
Yeah, bro.
That card I bought for $100. It's a Phil Foden Optic Hollow, PSA 10. Very, very low in pop because there's a condition problem with this card. Right here, there's a little speck right there.
Yeah.
And it depends on the grader that's grading this card to give it a 9 or a 10. I've seen the same spec come back a PSA 9, but this card right here cost me $100. It is now worth $2,000.
That's how it happens, man.
That's how it happens. And not every card out there is going to do that for you, but sometimes you get lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I'm blown away, man. Shocked.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And for all of those out there that think I don't like LeBron James,
here we go.
I'm telling you, you're wrong. I saw him at 18 years old. I thought he was quite different, very different. This eye appeal different.
Here's another card I wanted to show you, man. This is one that I picked up too.
Oh yeah, nice card.
That one's heading off to grading. I picked that up at a show.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a box that had a penny sleeve on it, and I looked at this card up and down. It says Tiger Woods rookie card, and hopefully it comes back a 10. But that's an iconic card to have.
Yep. Yes, sir. I'm so happy that I got this news. I'm on with you, man. I remember.
And it's live. It happened live.
Live, bro. I just happened to look down at my phone and saw Nostalgic Avenue sent me a message. I'm like, hold up. And then he said, this is what he said. He said, AFD, good news. Need to send you an invoice. So my mind went to, uh-oh. And I wrote, uh-oh. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, them are the best messages. I have about 70 cards right now at PSA that I submitted back 2 weeks ago. All Marvel cards, and I can't wait to get those back and see what those grades are. I got about another 60 or 70 cards that I got to send off this week or next. So not cheap.
No, it's not.
It's the
it's
rewards. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Trader Grill. Sorry I missed you at Delmar show. What do you think of that show? The show was amazing. I can't. It's coming back October 14th through the 16th. They're gonna run it back at Delmar. It was a great show. So you're in the show, right? And I told people this. I looked around just being at a show and asked myself, what here could have been forgotten about? Like in the planning process, somebody didn't think of this, didn't think of that. Almost everything you needed was at the show. Places to get drinks, places to get food at the show, restrooms there, places to sit down and relax, things for children to do who may not want to walk with mom and dad to look at cards on the table. Everything was thought through, kind of planned out. Signage looked good. And I'm not just saying this because this was the union having this show. If I went to any show, Sin City was having the show. And it looked like this, and it felt like this, and the vendors were friendly. You could talk to them and have conversations. I pulled Sin City aside and said, hey, man, this is the bomb. It doesn't really matter about who the show promoter may be. I mean, Alex and Wiley, I think what the cool thing about it is that's the biggest show that came to San Diego ever. You know, they represented for their community there. And there were a lot of San Diego folks that's excited to have something like that in their backyard per se. So
yeah, I'm excited about going in October.
I can't wait to see you there, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be too. Who do you think is a potential underrated Marvel character and collector?
Ooh, good question.
From the bench.
So my biggest play right now is Venom. It's an Intimidation Nation, and you guys all know in the sports industry, Intimidation Nation cards are huge as far as an insert set. So that's only a pop 4. Or I'm sorry, pop 2. Pop 2, 1 higher. But Venom, I think, is a big play right now for me. Number 1, he's my PC, but number 2, he's about to come into the MCU. Mm-hmm. He's about to he's already made an appearance in one of the, I think, in the post-screen credits for No Way Home. So he's coming.
That's going to be nice, man.
Yeah.
That's a great question, though, from the bench. Baker Boy says, LeBron in your top 10 now? No, still number 11. Baker Boy, I keep it real, man. What would you think if I got a card back and I say, oh, no, he's number 9? No, that's not what we do. I thought through my list in detail. I have thought through that list. I've scrutinized that list. I've put a grind session in on the list, thinking through different players. And it's just my list. You know, somebody else may say LeBron's number 2 all time. I just don't see that. But that's just me. Doesn't mean I hate on him. Let's think about it like this. All the people who have ever played in the NBA, and LeBron's top 11, he's top 5, he's top 2. That's a tremendous player. Right? Mm-hmm. That's no disrespect to him. But if you ask me game 5, 6, or 7, the game is on the line. Who's going to take the final shot? Most likely not going to be LeBron James. That's all I'm saying. There's a clutch factor. There's a skill factor. Can you score from anywhere on the court when you need it? That's all I'm saying. No disrespect to the guy, though. I have a lot of cards in my collection that are LeBron James cards. I went through right before the pandemic, a year or 2 before the pandemic, I purchased 3 or 4 LeBron James cards. In one night, I remember, and then 3 of them came from one seller on eBay. So I don't hate on LeBron. I just when you talk about Michael Jordan, man, I just get excited. I'll be an old man sitting in a corner in a rocking chair,
still talking about him.
And somebody say something about Michael Jordan, and I'm gonna be excited. I love the way Kobe Bryant had the willingness to take the shot from wherever and how he believed in himself.
Yep.
I love that. I love that about him. I look at Klay Thompson, to me, has something about him that's just different. He's willing to take the shot. That was sometimes against Memphis where he was on a slump. And you got to think, Klay just came back from 2 years of knee surgery, rehab, and he's willing to take the shot. There's something to just be said about that. People say Steph chokes in big games. I think we'll see what Steph does this year in big games. We will see. So Kevin Durant has the ability to score from almost anywhere on the court. Just something to be said about that. To me, those players are just different.
Yeah.
They're just different. There's some former players that were the same way. They're just different. All right. I messed up showing up with only 4 hours to go on Sunday. Yeah, it was a great show. Give yourself a little bit more time in October if you're able to get there. I'd love to meet up with you, say hello, see what's going on. But is LeBron going to make that rebound or that crazy assist? He's definitely going to kick it out to Ray Allen.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll see what happens after that. Should taking a shot be the only thing? No, it's not the only thing. But it's a deciding factor, man. To me, if you're a top 5 player, you're probably going to be taking that shot.
Absolutely.
Would you rather have Kobe or LeBron take the game-winning shot? I'm going to ask that question, Baker Boy. You got to let me know that. Let me know what you think. Who else is out here? From the bench. Would you rather have Kobe or LeBron? I'd rather have Kobe. I heard somebody tell me one day that Kobe definitely would take the shot. Most likely won't make it. I don't know.
I don't know. He's made a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
So has Jordan.
Yeah, Curry is number 9. Number 9.
If the Golden State Warriors win the finals, Curry will have his MVP finally for the finals.
That's right. He'll have his MVP. So then that'll quiet the crowd.
Yep.
Right. The crowd will be like, oh, well, then they'll say, man, he only has one.
Yeah.
He only has one, man. He's not the GOAT. He's not the greatest shooter of all time. I wonder who people would name as the greatest shooter of all time. Mark Price, man. Mark Price is the greatest shooter, man.
Yeah.
It'd be something like that. We also, Sin City, I have appreciated Canton Card Collector. That's why I got Kobe ahead of LeBron all the time. I do as well. Curry lost 3-1 to Cavs. Baker Boy pulled out one series. That's true. So I have enjoyed having you on here so much, man.
Me too, man. It was
it's been real fun, man. We've talked about so many different things tonight.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I love being on the show. I'll give a quick shout out to a lot of the community that I'm involved with right now, more so on the Marvel side. But a lot of people out there that I'm involved with. It's amazing to see the love that all these people that are doing it are showing. I mean, I got people reaching out to me that don't know me from anybody, and it's just nice to see that I can go to those people for questions or kind of picking their brain. Spidey Jew has been out there. I'm sorry, Spidey Hits now. Marvel 239. All these guys out there that I communicate with, Stacking Gems. It's an amazing community, and the sports card market also has great community. So you included. You've always reached out to me, talked to me. We met up at the Mint and kicked it off, and I appreciate you having me on the show, man.
Thank you. And we're going to have you back on more and more and more, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love to be here.
It's a pleasure, man. This is one, if I had to think about one of my favorite, I've had different favorite lives, but this has been, we've talked about so many different things, from sports to Marvel to grading, to predictions on the market, to just so much stuff. It's one of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Sin City. You're my top 10 list, bro.
Oh, man. Oh.
Now I want somebody in the comments.
I made it.
You can't dispute that one.
I can't.
Can't dispute it, bro.
Oh, man, it was fun. It was fun for sure. I can't wait to be on the next one.
I appreciate you, brother. And impromptu too. I'm gonna give this man his credit. I hit him up 2.5 hours before we got on.
Yeah.
And we're 2 hours and 19 minutes in talking about good stuff, man.
That's how it goes.
Appreciate it, brother.
That's how it goes, man.
Hey, man, you have a good night. Until next time, everybody out there, I appreciate you. Everybody that joined in the comments. I know we like to have fun. We go back and forth, but we all got love for each other. And I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Talk to y'all.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.